Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the 10-year rebuild challenge of the Houston Texans. That is right, we are back. It is episode number 6, year number 6, and we are coming off of maybe the greatest 5-year stretch I've ever had in the 10-year rebuilding challenge. We've done a few of these now with a few different teams, and there's been some mixed results. Obviously, we know the situation going on with the Arizona Cardinals right now, where we only have one more episode to win a championship, or that's going to be considered a failure. So we know the situation going around with the Cardinals, but this one is the complete and utter opposite. We already have 2 Super Bowl championships in the first 5 years of this rebuild. We won the first one in year 3. So, I mean, like, it doesn't get much better than that. We are coming off of a championship just last episode. So I don't even know where to go from here. I guess just continue to keep the core team together and see how many we can win. I don't know. We're going to find out in this episode kind of where the next 5 years of this rebuild will go. But right now, I'm on top of the world, baby. I'm a 2-time champion in the first 5 years. I couldn't have imagined having a better start than the first 5 years of this challenge. Let's just see where this goes. Hit that like button if you're excited. Subscribe to the channel for more. Join the Juice Club, and let's get year number 6 underway. We are here at the start of year number 6, and at the start of every episode, the start of every year, we have to set our season goals. And you know what? I mean, we're a 2-time champions, so we're going to have win the Super Bowl pretty much every single year from now on. Why not? I mean, we've proven it. We've proven that we can do it twice. So why not think that we can do it 3, 4 more times? You never even know. This could end up going down as my most successful rebuild ever. Now, we are a little bit lacking at center, only because he doesn't have star development. If he had star development, we'd probably be super happy with how the offensive line looks. The receiving core looks fantastic with Jordan Addison, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Brandon Ayuk. Kamara at running back is still amazing. Obviously, we have CJ Stroud, who is phenomenal. And then on the defensive side of things, we're looking pretty good. We could use a little bit of adjustment on the secondary, but for the most part, we're pretty good. I think we need to, in this offseason, add maybe 1 or 2 more corners, maybe another safety or something. I don't know. We need to figure something out in the secondary. But for the most part, I'm liking the way this team is looking, and we've already won 2 Super Bowls, and we just won one last year, and this team is basically the same team as it was just last episode. So is it wrong for me to think that we're going to go back-to-back? Probably, but I'm thinking it. I will see you guys at the midseason mark, and I'm expecting good things. We've made it to the midseason mark, and we currently sit at 5-2 on the year. That is good for best in the division by a couple of games. I told you, man. I told you that this team is just skyrocketing all the way to the top, and we are a dynasty. We are a brewing dynasty. We've got, it looks like they actually moved Trey Smith back over to right guard so that now the rookie McFadden can start at left guard. I don't really have a problem with that as long as it doesn't affect us long term. I guess, I don't know, I should probably make one of these 2 guys, Vera Tucker or Trey Smith, a left guard. I think I might do that, actually. I think I might make Vera Tucker a left guard just so that we can have the maximized offensive line possible. So let's make Vera Tucker the left guard, and then he will start at left guard then, and then the offensive line just looks a little bit better, which is always nice to see. Okay, so they have it as him playing right guard, even though I changed it. So let me generate the best lineup and see if it'll switch him back over. Okay, it does switch him back over. So this just makes the offensive line a little bit more optimized and look a little bit better. So that's good there. The defense is also looking pretty good. Looks like everybody's playing good with the morale and everything. We've got Jordan, awesome. He's a stud. Witherspoon's obviously a stud. So this team 5-2, I don't see many more losses in the future, but you know how Madden can be very, very stingy. with their wins and simulation. We'll see how it goes. I will see you guys at the end of the season, hopefully at the divisional round, because that would mean that we were the 1 seed and we were on a bye. That is the goal. I'll see you then. Here we are at the end of the season, and yes, we are on the wild card weekend, and I know you can't see the records right now. We actually tied with the Jaguars at 9 wins, 8 losses, but we finished below them, so they won the division, and we didn't make the playoffs. So I guess coming off of the high of winning a Super Bowl last episode, we kind of just fell off a little bit. I have no idea really what the problem was. We can take a little bit of a look and see kind of where our numbers were. CJ Stroud had a fantastic year, 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He wasn't the problem. I don't think the offense was the problem at all. I think it might have been the defense which let us down a little bit. Probably the secondary. But Alvin Kamara had a great year as well. 1,200 yards on the ground, 14 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, we had 3 1,000-yard receivers. Jordan Addison had 1,200 and 14 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk had 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Calvin Pryor, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison, 793 and 4 touchdowns. So, the offensive production was there. It wasn't the problem on the offense. I think it might have been this position group right here with the secondary, the linebackers, the defensive line, all those guys, I think might have been the problem. Probably everybody but the defensive line, because the defensive line's pretty good. 124 tackles for Tremaine Edmonds, a sack and a half for him. Philbin, the second man from Florida, had 118 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and an interception. Witherspoon had 94 tackles, half a sack. Arthur, 93 tackles. That was the strong safety. Sack leader was Will Anderson Jr. with 13.5. No surprise there. Bosa had 7. Ed Oliver had 6.5. Wallace had 5.5. The rookie from Ohio State, the backup D tackle, had 5.5 sacks. That's pretty impressive. And then we go to interception leaders. We didn't really produce that many interceptions, and that might also be a problem with the playbook that we're running or with just the talent on defense. That could also be part of the problem, maybe a bigger part of the problem than we think. But we'll simulate the playoffs, man. We can't win every year. That's something that we can't think about. We can't think about trying to win every single year because it's just not going to happen that way. 1, because our guys just aren't going to have great seasons every year. And 2, maybe the more important thing is the simulation's never going to let us do that. So we just got to roll with the punches. I know that this year's probably not going to be very eventful now that we haven't won a Super Bowl because we have really no money whatsoever. So hopefully the contracts that are going to be needed to be extended for renegotiated, hopefully they're not anybody super important and super crucial to the team because that's going to really hurt us. And then we just go into the draft and hope that we can draft some really good secondary and some really good defensive players. Super Bowl is Tampa Bay versus Buffalo. I'm not sure if I want to experiment with playbooks. I'm not sure if I want to experiment with changing playbooks because it's worked pretty much for the first 5 years. We've basically done all that we needed to do, winning those 2 Super Bowls already. So it's not like our playbook has failed like in Arizona where we've been going back and forth and doing all that kind of stuff, trying to figure out what playbook is the best option. So it's not like that has been any problem. I just don't know if maybe we need to adjust the scheme or adjust the playbook or do something, maybe just kind of freshen things up and get a new design for who this offense looks like, what the offense looks like as an identity. Tampa wins the Super Bowl 31-6, so Buffalo continues their struggles in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl as a franchise. Although, have they won one in this simulation? There's us. Ravens won. We beat the Panthers. The Cowboys won, and then the Jets won. So the Bills make the playoffs for the first time, or make the Super Bowl for the first time, and they lose big. MVP of the league was Jalen Hurts, and we didn't get any awards at all. So that's a kind of a bland season. Nothing really happened. I did notice that we have $40.5 million in available cap room, so maybe we can use that to kind of extend anybody. I'm hoping that this year for contract negotiations isn't massive. It's not anybody crazy good that we would probably lose if we didn't have any money. I really don't want that to happen. So we will go to negotiations with $40.5 million in available budget. Let's see who's on the table. So we've got a backup quarterback. We've got Marvin Harrison, who for some reason went down. So did Brandon Ayuk. Both of them had very good seasons. They'll go back up to superstar. Ed Oliver, Kamara. Okay, so this is a pretty good group of guys. We're going to have to make some tough decisions. Also, Paul Devine is here as well. Luckily for us, Alvin Kamara is super, super cheap. Ed Oliver is kind of cheap as well. I want to bring back Marvin Harrison. Brandon Ayuk he wants to come back, but I don't know if we'll have the cap to bring him back. I'm going to bring back Marvin Harrison. Thankfully, he wants to be here, so we'll just bump up his money just a little bit more, and he is probably back for the rest of the rebuild with that 4-year contract. So he might need like an extension at the very, very end. And then I want to bring back, do we try to bring back Brandon Ayuk with the cap that we have? Yeah, let's do it. 4-year contract, about the same as what Harrison's getting. A little bit less on the signing bonus, about $400,000 less. So we have about $12 million to figure out where to go next. I think Paul Devine is probably the smart way to go, but that would shrink up basically the rest of our money, and I'd probably have to trade Ed Oliver or just let him go. I think I might be able to bring back Kamara. Although we did have a running back who had hidden development, so that is a possibility to keep or to get rid of Kamara and keep around the rookie running back or the second-year man, I guess now. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Do I want to keep... Is Paul Devine worth bringing back? Because we might have... He's only, what, an 83? Yeah, he's only an 83 overall. So let me go back and see kind of what this offense looks like right now, because we have, what, $12 million? Yeah, about $12 million left to spend. And we could... Who do we use that on? We could use it on Devine. But we also have McFadden, and we have Blair. We could move Blair to right tackle and be just as good as with Devine, so maybe Devine doesn't need to come back. But since I'm here, CJ Stroud had a fantastic year. He's not going down to superstar. I will move everybody back up to their original development trade unless they had a down season, but CJ didn't have a down season. He threw for amazing yards, under 10 interceptions. He deserves to stay where he was, and then we'll move Brandon Ayuk and we'll move Marvin Harrison back up to superstar as well. Even if we don't bring back Brandon Ayuk on the team, we'll still move him back up to superstar because he had a really good year, over 1,000 yards, over 10 touchdowns. Not deserving to drop in a development trait. I just don't understand why this game does what it does, but you can't explain it because it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense. So we will move these guys back up, and then we will make our decision on... I think I'm going to move that right tackle over that left tackle over to right tackle, and then we just let Devine go. Maybe? I don't know. We're going to move this guy to right tackle. He's going to be our new right tackle, or at least he's going to be the right tackle for the moment. Maybe we make a move and we get a right tackle in. I don't know. But the other thing is, do we trade away Ed Oliver, or do we try to sign him back? Because he is 30 years old at this point. He's getting a little bit older. So I don't know if Ed is the option. It looks like it's switched our line here. We'll just generate the best lineup to get everybody back to where they need to be. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we're not going to bring back Devine, but then on defense, Ed Oliver, we don't have a backup D tackle. So if we didn't keep Oliver, then we'd be in big time trouble. It looks like Arthur actually went up to star, so maybe he is the go-to safety right there, which is good. That's always good to see. Let's figure this out. Ed Oliver. Kamara's not expensive. Kamara is not expensive at all. And it looks like it was Moreland who was the rookie, right? He had a development trait. What's his progression history? Did he lose his trait because he didn't start? Yeah, he decreased to normal for no reason. He's not regressing or anything like that. So we'll move him back up to star. because he didn't do anything. He didn't play enough to warrant losing his development trait. I don't even think he got any touches. So he will go back up to star. And then we will try to figure this out. I don't know, because the problem is trading Oliver. We could probably get some good value for him, but we'd have to get a D tackle because we don't have one. McFadden's probably not good enough to start. He had a good season, but that was just as a backup. I don't think it would be smart to make him the starter. I think that would hurt our defense. So if we go to salaries and we try to figure out, Jordan Addison needs a contract next year. That's not good. Let's see. So if we go to Divine, his penalty is 0. So if we just released him right now, it wouldn't matter. But Ed Oliver has an $8 million penalty. So if we were just to cut him right away, it would hit us $8 million. So I think Ed Oliver has to get re-signed. So we're going to let Divine go. And I think Ed Oliver needs to be back on this team. I want him back on this team. It's just going to be a problem because it's going to take up a lot of our money. He wants to be here, which is nice. So if we could get him back on a 2-year deal, I can bump this money down a lot because he wants to be here, so we don't have to pay him like crazy amounts of money. And if we go to maybe offer him like a $4 million bonus, that would keep us around $4 million left in cap. And he says that he wants to test free agency. That was a generous offer for a guy who wants to be here. What's the tag if we put it on him? 21 million. So that would completely wash away all of our money. Okay, so Alvin Kamara, 84 overall. Is it even worth bringing Kamara back? Maybe for another season? Let's see what he says to that. He's coming back for another year. So we have about $8 million to... We're not going to be able to bring back Divine or Oliver. It's just going to be too expensive. So we're going to have to go into free agency and try to bring in a D tackle because we need one. So it's going to be tough. This is going to be very, very tough. I'm hoping that the draft has a good D tackle a little bit later. But here we go, entering free agency. Let's see what we got, man. I don't know what this free agent class is going to have. I'm hoping that it's a D tackle. It's got Ed Oliver. It's got Vita Vea, but we're not going to be able to pay either one of those guys. So let's go straight to the D tackles and figure out what our best option is. A couple guys want to be here, which is nice. A lot of guys actually want to be here. Man, every D tackle wants to be here. So that's good. We have our pick of the litter. We can choose who we want. Now, do we go with Siaki Ika because he's a 79 overall player, he's 28 years old, and he's got no offers? That could be a good little pickup for us if we go for like a 2-year deal. We lower the bonus down to like $3 million. If we offer him that, we still have a little bit of cap space to wiggle room, a little bit of wiggle room to work with to maybe... That's a decent offer too. It's like 3 or 4 bars or something. So now if we go to like free safety... Is there any free safeties that we could snag for no money? Reed Blankenship at 78 overall. Is there a star development player that has no offers? It doesn't look like it. What about strong safeties that we can move to free safety? Probably not. Not anybody worth it, at least. Corner, because we do need some corners as well. Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs could be interesting. And so could Tyreek Stevenson. But we have to outbid somebody. We don't have to outbid anybody for Nate Hobbs, at least not right now. So if I go for Nate Hobbs on a 2-year deal, we lower the money to $3 million, and we drop the bonus. He's probably not going to like this deal at all. We're giving him no bonus whatsoever, about $1 million bonus, and then we drop the cap or the salary to 2.5. That's about $36 million. He's not going to like that at all. There's no way he signs that deal. Absolutely no way. But we will go to our targeted, and we will go and hit the button, evaluate offers, and it looks like we didn't get either of them. We are in a battle for Ika. I will withdraw my offer on Nate Hobbs. We're just not going to be able to pay him. So let's do it again. And Ika has not accepted either. We're still battling for Siaki Ika. He finally signed with somebody. Is it with us or was it with Miami? It is with Miami. He didn't sign with us. Siaki Ika chooses to go to the Miami Dolphins. That sucks. That sucks. I thought that he was going to be the best one available. We just don't have the money to be able to pay these guys the kind of stuff that we're trying to pay them. Now, I could go with somebody else, but I think we just saved the money. We saved the $8 million in cap space that we have available, and we just ride into the draft. I don't know. It's not looking good for us here in Houston, especially because we lost Ed Oliver. That really hurt. But I do need to see what is our draft capital. So we have pick 17 and pick 18. We have 2 second rounders, 2 third rounders, 2 fourth rounders, 2 fifth rounders. We must have traded a bunch of picks last episode to get all that stuff. Okay, so we've got some workarounds. We've got some stuff to move if we need to. We've got some options. But I have no idea what this draft class looks like. I don't know if there's any good D tackles. I don't know if there's any good corners. But we need to use... I'm probably not going to trade a ton of these picks away. Maybe the later round picks. But I'm probably going to keep these picks because we need to use them. Mainly for roster depth. We only have like 49 players or something. So we need to use them probably for roster depth. But I don't know. We're going to keep the $8 million. That's going to go in part to sign the draft picks because they're going to be expensive. So we're probably going to be in the negatives by the end of this episode. 5th-year options, please be Jordan Addison, but I think it's Jimmy Rhodes. I think we already passed the time for his 5th-year option. So we are going to pick up Jimmy Rhodes' 5th-year option. That's fine. I don't know if there's going to be anybody else. Probably one more person at least that we're going to have to decide on the 5th-year option of. Who is it going to be? It's going to be Demario Blair. Okay, I'm going to pick up his option as well just to give me any sort of room to not have to sign every single high-powered person at the same time because we're just not going to be able to do that. So we move to free agency recap. Another uneventful free agency. But that tends to be the case. I usually do a lot of my spending in the early days of a 10-year rebuild, the early seasons, so that we can win as quick as possible. That's always the goal. So the private workouts, actually, you know what? Let's go to just the mock draft first, just to kind of get a feel for what the class looks like, because I haven't even taken a look at it yet. So the final mock draft has a corner at the first pick, and he is a 6'3", A zone coverage generational corner. You gotta be kidding me. Why is there a generational corner? I can't handle this. I can't handle it. There's a generational corner. There's also some pretty decent pass rushers. How good is Daniel Gatewood? He's very good. His block shedding's not great. His power moves aren't great, but he's a very good athlete. He's a very, very good athlete. How about Matt Cormier? Is he better? 6'3", not as quick, not as good. So the other guy, Gatewood, is the better of the two options there. Daniel Gatewood. Is there a guy at D tackle? This is the highest rated D tackle, Jamie Camarillo. Or I guess it could Jaime if he's got that, but I think it's Jamie. He's got elite speed. His block shedding's not great. His finesse moves aren't great. But that elite speed could be crazy. Now, it is elite speed in the realm of a D tackle. So it's not like 99 speed or anything. But it is very interesting. I think I might have to change my my scouts because we're getting scouts that are quarterback heavy and we're not really in the market for a quarterback. So, okay, this draft class is very interesting. I am upset that there is a generational corner that we most likely can't get. I'm going to try my hardest to move up to number 1 to draft that corner because adding him to Devin Witherspoon and Kenny Jordan would be an amazing pull. So we're going to scout him. We're going to scout that D tackle wherever he went. Where'd he go? There he is, Jamie Camarillo. And then, I don't know, we'll scout some other... Is there a receiver that's, like, freakishly good or a center? Let's scout this center. Daniel Zimmer. Those will be the 3 guys that we do our private workouts for. And now I got to go make some magic happen. I got to go try to trade up to the number 1 overall pick. Who even had the number 1? Was it the Rams that had the number 1 pick? I'm pretty sure it was. It was the Rams who have the number 1 pick. So I'm going to go try to make some magic happen, get this number 1 pick, and then I'll be back hopefully when I have it. When I have some good news, maybe some bad news. Okay, so I got some good news, or I guess bad news is the way that you look at it. I got the number 1 pick. I went into the Rams thing. I traded for the number 1 pick. I clicked offers, and one of the offers that came up was straight up number 1 pick for Tremaine Edmonds. Now, I did do it. I traded Tremaine Edmonds straight up for the number 1 overall pick. That could be a bad thing in the long run, but I guess we'll find out. We got the number 1 pick. We're going to take that corner. He is most likely generational. He's 6'3", A zone coverage. Anytime you get that kind of combination, especially with the elite speed that he has, it's most likely 99% generational. So we're going to take Randy Hayes with the first overall pick, 95 speed, 93 excel. He goes into a pretty good cornerback room already, but now it comes even further. And remember, I never said that I traded my other first-round picks. So we have 17 and 18 still. So we've got 3 first-round picks now to work with. We took Randy Hayes, obviously. Let's keep moving forward. There goes one of the defensive linemen. There goes the other defensive lineman. Remember, we thought that Daniel Gatewood was the better of the 2 options, so the Falcons got him. And we move a little bit forward. I'm not sure when that D tackle is supposed to go. He could go here. There goes Camarillo. I wasn't sure if he was going to go, but I thought that he might. So we will just instead move to our pick at 17 and at 18. Now, we could use both of these picks, or now that we have the first overall pick, we could trade out of this. But I think we might take the center Daniel Zimmer because we are in need of a center. Center is an option. Looks very good. He's got great numbers, except for his pass block and pass finesse are not amazing at C, but they're still better than they could be at like a D or something. But how good is this guy? Nick Clark. He's 6'6". He's not the greatest of athletes, but he's very solid statistically. I think we might take Daniel Zimmer with this pick. There's also this guy, Jeremy Amos, at free safety. We could always use a free safety. He looks pretty good. Yeah, he does look pretty good. We have back-to-back picks. I think I might use back-to-back picks on Daniel Zimmer and Jeremy Amos. Let's take Amos first. No, let's take Zimmer first. Daniel Zimmer, only normal development, really? That's a little bit of a hit. That's a little bit of a hit. I'm hoping that his overall is high enough to where he could start, but that is a little bit of a hit right there, only having normal development. That kind of sucks. Now, if we get Amos and he has normal development, then that's going to be a really big L. It's going to be a really, really big L, but he just looks very good all around. Jeremy Amos, please have hidden development. Thank you. He's very good physically. He could be hopefully our franchise free safety for the rest of this rebuild. So we got 2 very good players, and now we're going to have to use our second-round pick on a D tackle. We got 2 very good players, 2 absolute guarantees at hidden development, or at star development at the least. And then the center we swung and missed there, but that is okay. So the highest D tackle right now is Jamal Anderson. We'll go to the actual position just to kind of see what's available. So we've got this guy as well. We've got Spencer Stump, who is pretty technically quick. He's got good power moves, decent block shed, A play rec, but as a D tackle, play rec doesn't really matter too much. What about this guy? We never took a look at him. Jamal Anderson doesn't have the tackling that the other guy does. He's got the same block shed and power moves, but his play rec is a B instead of an A. He's a power rusher. He's a run stopper. They're both around 1 to 2 talents. I think I'm going to go for Spencer Stump. I think he might be a little bit better, especially because he's a little bit quicker, slightly. I'm going to go Spencer Stump. Hidden development. I wonder if Jamal Anderson has hidden development or not. We'll have to check that depending on whoever drafts him. So we've filled all of our positions that we absolutely needed to fill. We got an extra corner. We got an extra safety. And we got a D tackle to fill in with the loss of Ed Oliver. Now, the only other thing that we could do is get actually, we could take Jamal Anderson and find out what his development trait is. But I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. I want to take a look at like linebackers because we do not have a lot of depth at linebacker at all. So I want to take a look at linebacker and see if there's anybody that we can maybe snag. So we've got this guy, Chuck Royal. Hello, Chuck. You are fast. You are, what's your archetype? Pass coverage, really? Okay, I'm going to take you. Chuck Royal, normal development, but you are quick. And we need some depth at linebacker. So I'm taking Chuck Royal, and maybe he can turn out to be something. We've seen crazier things in the past. So let's skip to our 3rd round pick. Make our selection. We have back-to-back 3rd rounders. Maybe there's another linebacker that could be good. I hope so. Dante Harvin is also here at D-tackle. And he doesn't look too great. He's decently fast, but he doesn't. Nah, he doesn't. It's not worth it. If I was gonna take another D tackle, it would have been that guy Anderson, but he is. He's not worth it. What about middle linebacker Bob Fowler? Bob Fowler, hardly know her. Doesn't look great at all. Doesn't look like he does anything well. Not worth the 3rd round pick. Let me go to linebackers actually now and see if there is maybe a diamond in the rough. Maybe like this guy, Jonathan Ross. He's a pass coverage archetype, which we already have, but he has elite speed. Let's take a flyer on Jonathan Ross. Hidden development. Okay, we're starting to figure that's probably only star, but we are starting to get some nice W's with some of these selections. We have back-to-back 3rd round picks. Do we take Zach Tatum since we missed on the other guy? He's a power archetype. He looks pretty good. Zach Tatum, normal development. So both of the centers that I drafted are normal development. That's kind of sucky. But hey, offensive line depth you can never go wrong with. I think I'm just going to end the draft here. We can let the CPU take the rest of it. It kind of sucks that we didn't get a center that has normal development or that has hidden development, but maybe they can develop into one. We already have a good center already. He also has normal development, but he's a pretty high overall. He's like a high 70, I think. So if we go into draft recap, please, oh please, tell me that we drafted some high overall players. That is what I want to see. I want to see some high 70s, maybe even an 80, and Randy Hayes is in fact an 80 overall. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Daniel Zimmer, 74. It's all right. 78, though, for Jeremy Amos. Let's go right there. That's big. Spencer Stump is a 74. Chuck Royal is only a 71. Jonathan Ross is a 73. Tatum's a 64. They ended up drafting Bob Fowler. He's a 63. Does he end up having hidden development? Probably not. Yeah, he didn't look good at all. I don't know why they drafted him. Probably because we needed a middle linebacker. But that's not good there. Tyler Harrell is decent, not that fast for a wide receiver. The draft picks are not that great later on down the road, but that's okay. So let's take a look at the NFL. Who was the highest rated player? Was it my boy Hayes? I think it might be Randy Hayes, highest player in the class, and Amos is the 2nd highest player. So we got the 2 highest rated players in the draft in the 1st round. Let's go, baby. That's huge. That's really, really big. Okay, so let's try to find Jamal Anderson. I guess I could just go to D-tackle, but I'm already pretty far down. This is promising. He's not anywhere here, and we're in the 72s. There's Camarillo, only a 72, so I'm glad we didn't draft him. But where is Jamal Anderson? We are into the 71s now. Is Jamal Anderson that bad? He looked okay in the numbers. Here he is. He's a 69 overall. Nice. And he has hidden development. Okay. Very interesting. But a 69 overall to start with. I'm okay with the draft class. We filled some needs. We got another corner who's generational. We got a free safety who was the 2nd best player in the class. And we got some good offensive line depth. We also got some good linebacker depth, which is something we really, really needed. Seriously needed some linebacker depth. Especially because I traded Tremaine Edmonds for the number 1 overall pick to get that X Factor, which I'm assuming is X Factor, corner. But now let's take a look at the team as we head into the year 7 regular season, or preseason, I should say. The offense, how's it going to look next episode? So we've got Gore, who's going to start at center for us, which is not a problem. He's a high enough overall, but Daniel Zimmer is right there behind him. The wide receivers are looking okay. We've still got Kamara for another year. CJ Stroud's still here. And then on the defense, what's it looking like? So Stump is actually going to start over Wallace. And we've also got Mitchell, who has hidden development. That's pretty cool. And then you see Hayes right there as our corner. Amos is going to start at free safety. I moved Philbin to middle linebacker officially because he was the best one that we could move to middle linebacker. So this is what the linebacking core looks like. Arthur will start at strong safety. And then we've got decent corners. The defensive line looks okay. All right, we'll see how it goes next episode. It could be another season where we miss the playoffs, but that's just what's going to happen, man. We've already won 2 Super Bowls, so, I mean, anything at this point is just gravy. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. This is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you again for stopping by. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.